All right, welcome back to Fleck Socks, the podcast, episode 174. Today on the show, the Trump trial in New York City is wrapping up, and Trump was found guilty on 34 counts. We're going to give you the full breakdown of what's going on. Then we have a new hack that gets you larger serving sizes at Chipotle. Get ready to take notes. Then in Cringe of the Week, this guy got in trouble with the judge for something he did during his Zoom hearing. It was very hilarious. And last but not least, in Urban Decay, we have a parents behaving badly in front of their kids section that you're not going to want to miss. All this and more, it's Fleck Socks, the podcast, episode 174, ranked the best new podcast of all time.
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words. But at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do. Very cool. Very cool.
It's Fleck Socks, the podcast, featuring Richard Grab.
All right, one for one on the intro as always. Guys, I have something very special for all you two-way enthusiasts out there. Gideon Optics, a show-watching company, and our friends in real life have two new optics that just hit the shelves, and they're not gonna last long. Their brand new 1X Prism Rifle Scope and Guardian LPVO Scope are absolutely sick and are must-have add-ons to your weapons. That's lit. These guys take pride in providing you with high-quality optics at a very affordable price. Gideon Optics has a ton of optics that you'll love. They have the Mediator, the Omega, and the Alpha, as well as the new ones we already mentioned. Upgrade your two-way collection by going to GideonOptics.com today. Use code Cabana for 10% off and free shipping. Cabana. I told you they were show watchers. Get your optics from one of the boys. Go to GideonOptics.com right now. And as always, send me a screenshot showing me you made a purchase, and I will follow you back on a social media of your choice. GideonOptics.com is the website. It's linked in the description. Go pick up something for your two-way collection today. Now let's get into housekeeping. All right. Thank you to Gideon Optics for sponsoring.
Thank you, Gideon.
You got your Gideon Optics shirt on right now.
They fit me nicely. Thank you.
Thank you, Gideon.
Real show watchers, promo code Cabana. You guys know.
You guys know the deal. Everyone that watches the show has guns, likes guns.
Yeah.
And they need some accessories.
They need optics.
You need optics. All right. We have a great show for everybody. We only have 3 pages of housekeeping, believe it or not.
Wow. Crazy.
So, yeah, I held it back a little bit, but we have a great show, great housekeeping, great cringe, packed urban, lots to get to. First things first, the Trump trial in New York City is wrapped up, or it's almost done. I think July 11th is going to be the verdict.
Yeah. No, the sentencing is July 11th. So there's still a month, and like there's a debate in between now and then. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of craziness between sentencing, and he might get sentenced to probation, might get sentenced to jail. At which point, what happens?
I do not know, but found guilty on all 34 counts.
People of the state of New York versus Donald Trump, found guilty by a jury of his political rivals, not his peers. New Yorkers, right?
Exactly. So it makes me feel like they're going to try and put him in jail.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And then Trump's donation site has crashed from being so overrun. That just happened, a 500 error. So a lot of people are obviously making big proclamations. Ron DeSantis, David Sachs types, tech people, different people who are coming out of the woodwork and acknowledging that this is Banana Republic shit.
Yeah, a miscarriage of justice, to say the least.
Thank God Trump didn't, go after Hillary Clinton or anything. That would have been bad for decorum.
Yeah.
And now Joe Biden has spent half of his term going after January 6 grandmothers and Banana Republican Trump in New York, Atlanta, anywhere he can. And this was the first one to finally stick a little bit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So if this doesn't motivate you to kind of go out and vote for Trump even harder than you would have, I don't know what will, because we're kind of losing America at this point if they're able to get down to this Banana Republic type behavior, right? Mm-hmm. Show me the man, show me the crime, I'll show you the crime, right?
Yeah.
Soviet Republic shit.
Exactly. Did you know that Judge Merchan, the guy who's doing this whole thing, you know he's from Bogota, Colombia?
He's a foreign-born judge, which, you can be, I guess. But something just doesn't taste right to me seeing a foreign-born, especially Latin America.
Latin America, what do you guys know about
Justice.
Yeah,
and it's like, he went to school. He went to Hofstra and shit. But like, fuck that guy. We got a jury of his peers, right? We got we got 350 million jurors coming up in November. Why don't you just settle down, Bogota, Colombia-born judge?
And going to Hofstra.
Yeah.
That doesn't impress me.
Yeah, that actually is not that great.
Yeah. Oh, he went to Hofstra.
Okay. All right.
Now he's the judge on the President Trump's trial.
Yeah.
Something ain't right. And then also the media has a gay crush on him. Look at this clip.
As you've noted, with respect to Judge Marchand, I mean, I am like now, I have like a man crush on him. He is such a great judge that it's hard to see that
people on MSNBC are trying to suck the guy.
They want to suck the judge just because he's against Trump, and he keeps telling the jury different directions, like directions that we haven't heard before. Like, you could be 4 of you could think this, and then 4 of you could think this, and we're still going to get him, right?
Yeah. It's very unfortunate, and obviously there's homosexual roots to all this. Greg Price had a great recap of the whole thing.
I want to say this before we move on to the Greg Price recap, because it's a lot of reading. Democrats do this to an extent. Like, Republicans admire people. I like Trump. Trump's a strong guy. He really fights. Democrats are willing to suck anybody who comes up. Remember how bad they were with Fauci? And like different people who come out of the woodwork and they just kind of jerk them off. Christine Blasey Ford. Different types like that, they're ready to fucking do it,
We love Trump, but it's like, oh, yeah, you want to go like one-on-one with Trump in the bathroom? It's like, no, like, what?
Why don't you stop if I saw Trump at a truck stop, I would go crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're saying it on MSNBC.
It's like, I'd play golf with the guy.
Yeah, I'd shake his hand. I really respect the hell out of him. These guys are all talking about crushes, and then they make them into pop stars, basically.
Yeah.
People who are in like a 2-week news cycle, they make into pop stars.
Same with the January 6th cop with the neck tattoo.
Who, speaking of, they were there with Robert De Niro. That's who goes outside of Trump's trial these days. Bob De Niro, that old man, and the January 6th cops.
The Fed.
And then, but now that we're kind of jamming over here, Bob De Niro, Rob?
It's about Rob.
De Niro went out there and was like talking. He's like, these January 6th cops, these are the heroes. And he got heckled by people, right? And he was kind of like, and he was like, what do you say? They're traitors? And it's like, Bob, you're not smart enough or quick enough or know the facts enough to like take on a heckle. You have to pretend not to hear it, right?
Yeah.
So
go read the paper they gave you.
Exactly.
That's all you got to do.
Exactly.
All right. Speaking of go read the paper, Rat Boy, we have a big recap from Greg Price, but it's worth reading because it outlines everything. Can you give it a go?
Yeah, this is from Greg Price. Shout out to Greg. He said, just a quick recap of the Juan Merchan/Alvin Bragg show trial in NYC. The Soros-funded DA elevated a misdemeanor to a felony despite lowering 60% of all felonies for actual criminals in his jurisdiction. The lead prosecutor resigned his position as the 3rd highest ranking member of Biden's DOJ to join Alvin Bragg's team going after Trump. The judge donated to Joe Biden and has a daughter who raised millions of dollars for Democrats off the Trump prosecutions. The other lead prosecutor also donated to Joe Biden. The lead witness that the whole case relies on is a convicted perjurer and serial liar who admitted during the trial to stealing money from the Trump Organization. That's Michael Cohen. The judge put a gag order on Donald Trump for pointing out the political conflicts of interest of the people prosecuting him. The crime relies on the idea that Trump paid off Stormy Daniels to conceal another crime, which is not mentioned in the indictment. The judge barred Trump's defense from explaining to jury that no campaign finance violation occurred, but allowed prosecutors to assert as fact in their closing that there was. The judge cleared out the courtroom when Michael Cohen's former attorney was exonerating Trump, but allowed the prosecution to bring in Stormy Daniels to talk about whether or not Trump used a condom, the important stuff. The judge barred a former FEC commissioner from testifying that Donald Trump did nothing wrong. The judge is allowing the jury to not have to reach a unanimous verdict on the underlying unnamed crime Trump committed. What did I miss?
Wow. So that's it.
It's just every step of the way. It's what's allowed in the court, who the people are in the court, what ties they have to the Biden administration and the Biden DOJ.
I think they probably won't even put Trump in jail until after the election, just so for the rest of the year they can say he's a convicted felon with facing jail time.
Yeah.
Because if they put him in, everyone's going to go crazy. Everyone will go vote for him, and he'll win in a landslide.
I don't even know what happens. Do people break him out? Does somebody go crazy?
I think people go crazy.
Yeah.
I would love for Secret Service to be like, we're not doing that.
Step down, stand down. And it's like local cops.
Then you have the guy with the fake arms and the machine gun underneath his jacket. You're not taking him to jail.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. While this is going on, everyone's saying, "Oh, Trump said the N-word. That's the new thing." Who cares? I said the N-word today.
Yeah,
I say the
That's
N-word
life.
constantly. That's life, baby. That's how it goes. And Jill Biden, in the meantime, has been campaigning for Joe. She was on The View, and here's what she said.
Well, Dr. Biden, the first presidential debate is less than a month away, and we've debated at this table. There have been people that have thought President Biden shouldn't even debate President Trump just due to the fact that Donald Trump will gaslight, he overtalks,
Yes.
there are no guardrails. So
He stalks.
I happen to believe it's really important, more than ever, to have a debate with guardrails. What is the strategy that the president has going into this? Any tips you'd have for a debate that we could pull off where we could actually hear our candidates?
No, they've built that in where they're going to turn off those mics so that somebody can't ramble or scream at somebody. Not that my husband would be the one doing that. No. And so that's already been negotiated. And, I think the American people deserve a debate because you need to see your choices. You need to see Trump, and you need to see the president, and you need to see the differences. And my husband's, and you're going to see how smart he is and the experience he has. And then you'll see somebody who, like you're saying, I'm going to use Joy's words, can't put a sentence together. Right. And everything.
Yeah,
That's Trump.
Trump's going to gaslight us and because he can't put a sentence together.
Joe Biden's the smart, eloquent speaker, and they're going to show that while he's on as much crank as possible during the debate.
And they're going to give him no crank between now and then to get his tolerance back.
Oh,
So he's going to be actually feeling good that night.
I know. And then they might overdose. You guys know how that goes. If your tolerance gets really low, that's how all the opiate addicts overdose.
Yeah.
They come back from a relapse and then they flatline.
This is how much I was doing last time, and then you die. That's a good point. Well, here's what Joe Biden's been saying lately after Jill said that.
We'll never forget lying around and him lying around, actually.
Oh,
Got him.
no crank.
Yeah, but Trump says stuff like tremendous and amazing a lot when he's speaking.
Yeah.
So
Trump
this
can't
is
put-
okay.
Trump can't put a sentence together. Can't do anything. And then there was some new stats that came out recently about who's voting for Joe Biden. It's like gays, atheists, lesbians, agnostics, bisexuals, and blacks.
Yeah, your probability of voting for Joe Biden goes way up if you're an atheist, gay, black, lesbian, or something.
And basically, like
Who doesn't believe in God.
A theme we've seen on the show is like cultural Marxism.
Yeah.
And how everyone's like convinced that they're oppressed, and there's an oppressor class. The white straight men are oppressing everybody, and you're a victim. So it's like if you see yourself that way, you're more likely to vote for Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Kind of makes sense. Person of color, if you're lesbian, pans, whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
Meshes with my worldview. That's what I've seen, anecdotally speaking, right?
Exactly. Well, let's go on to page 2 of Housekeeping. That's enough of the Trump trial. Make sure you guys use this opportunity to help us tickle the post, juice the algo, leave a comment again, then start yapping about what you want to yap about. Like the post, leave a comment, P.O. box. Notifications.
All right.
That was a sloppier one.
I know.
And then also, if you guys were missing the show on Tuesday, and you're looking for some show, there was like a 50-minute episode that we released on Tuesday on fuckistalks.com. Now's the time to sign up. We're coming into the election. Things are ramping up. The show is ramping up. We're going to hopefully be an important voice coming into 2024. We need your guys' support to continue things and keep the lights on. Yep. All right, next clip, the paradox of hate. What is that?
My first time hearing it right now.
Oh, no, it's this quote. Go for it.
Okay, the paradox of hate from Chesterton. You need to hate the world enough to change it, but love it enough to consider it worth changing. Action is the offspring of dark pessimism and frenzied optimism working in tandem.
That's something I wanted to tell everyone.
Yeah.
You know, because we're coming into things, you can get really black-pilled. And if you get too black pills, you kind of think, fuck it, I want to go live in the woods. Good luck, everybody, while the world burns down.
Yeah.
You got to still love the country. And that's why we have Uplifting Gold. You have to still love what's going on, because if you don't, then you're only going to hate it, and then you're not going to want to change. You're going to want to watch it burn. So it's a match. It's like a push and pull of these two things.
Yeah, it's a balancing game, and you have to want to change so that you could love it even more.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the cycle of good times. Good men create good times, and like that's kind of the cycle. So we're obviously on what of the cycle.
Yeah. And I want to just point that out just because, things get negative. Don't get too down or too depressed because then you'll just let the country go. All right. Our next clip, this lady got an apple a year ago and it's still normal.
October 2023, October 4th, 2023, I got this apple from Universal Studios Resort I was staying in. I put it in my backpack and I thought, wow, that apple will be a perfect snack for later when I'm at the theme park and I need something a little bit refreshing. I forgot about the apple. I found it a week later when I'm home and the apple was in perfect condition. I thought, interesting, I don't know any apple that could last the heat for that long and be in perfect condition. Today, it is April 30th, 2024, and this is the apple. It has developed its first bruise.
Yeah. And a whole year, and that apple is basically the same. Didn't really change.
Crazy.
It's interesting. They're obviously putting chemicals on it that extend its shelf life, and there's like the Bill Gates appeal that goes on a lot of fruits and vegetables. But those chemicals, they seep in, and they get into your body, and they mess you up, make you weak and gay, and eventually vote Democrat, like we just read from those stats.
Wow.
Pretty crazy.
What do we do?
Well,
no Universal Studios apples? How do I even determine?
Well, grow your own apples.
I don't have an orchard, buddy.
Find a person who does.
Okay.
And then trade with them whatever you do have.
I'm trading now? Fuck. Because some people wanted to poison me so bad?
You got to go back 300 years. So these chemicals obviously make everyone, like I said, weak and gay. And then when you are weak and gay, you tend to vote Democrat. There's this quote that I think we may have even mentioned this in Bonus Land or read it from a while ago about men and weak men and how they tend to vote.
People who can't defend themselves physically, women and low-T men, parse information through a consensus filter as a safety mechanism. They literally do not ask, is this true? They ask, will others be okay with me thinking this is true? This makes them very malleable to brute force manufactured consensus. If every screen they look at says the same thing, they will adopt that position because their brain interprets it as everyone in the tribe believing it. Only high-T alpha males and aneurotypical people, autists, are actually free to parse new information with an objective, is this true filter. This is why a republic of high-status males is best for decision-making. Democratic, but a democracy only for those who are free to think.
That makes sense.
You want to take away the women's right to vote? Is that what you're saying by me reading that 4chan post?
Well, I'm saying when everyone's...
I agree.
Everyone's weak, they go, oh, I don't want to stand out. I don't want to get out of the group. I'll just do whatever the group's doing. And then, like they said, brute force manufactured consensus. That's what we're dealing with every issue. Ukraine, COVID, election fraud, Democrats in general. So it's like it has so many people that are just automatically on a side without actually doing any critical thinking.
Yeah.
And a lot of that has to do, obviously, with the women voting, but also weak men. And then there's this next clip of a guy saying how it's not good to fight and never need to fight.
Every man know how to fight?
I don't really know how to fight.
Why couldn't you defend yourself?
No, I'd run. I think it's stupid. You would never really get into a fight. Like, if you did get into a fight, you should always just run. Why take that risk? There's nothing good that can come out of it. Either you're gonna get hurt, or you're gonna hurt someone else. Why? Just run. But if you can't run, then give them what they want. Diffuse the fight at all costs. I don't believe in violence.
So diffuse the fight at all costs. This is incorrect.
Yeah.
You need to be able to fight, but then choose not to. So you need to have the ability and then say, I have the ability to kill somebody, but I'm not going to kill anybody unless I have to. Because if you don't and you have this guy's attitude, you become pretty conquerable.
Yeah, you're out on a walk with your wife, your dog, and then one of those two twin strollers, and then you're running away when some mugger comes, and it's like, honey, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So it's like, in that instance, you have to fight, right?
Exactly, especially when the country's being filled with third world illegals.
Yeah, and you can take most of them one-on-one, but, you got to kind of be able to scrap and hold your own against three of them, because they come in little rat packs.
Yeah, they do come in rat packs.
Yeah.
And then, it's easy to say, oh, you don't need to fight. But when you're getting flooded with people from the third world, it might come in handy. Look at this next clip.
Get back! Go away! We've got children! Our children are upstairs! They're upstairs, go away!
What's wrong with you?
I'm invincible. Please, babe. Please, we've got children, they're crying upstairs.
They're fucking 10 minutes too late!
You're on the phone with the cops.
Bullets will go into you, mate. Bullets going to me?
We've got children here.
Oh, you're bummer, bro. Yeah? Little girl, come back up with your fucking face off.
All right, you get the point.
You get the point. So
some guy having a manic schizophrenic break is challenging you at your home, which for some reason has a wide 3/4 door open, and you're on the phone because you can't have a gun because you're in England, and
you're scared, and you're waiting for a capable man to get there in 12 to 14 minutes to hopefully diffuse the situation. You have kids upstairs, so that's why obviously we say in the show become unpinnable. That's another reason. That exact situation there. Because like all you're doing is waiting to get beat up and your wife to get beat up and probably worse.
And that's also why having a handgun is equivalent to being unpinnable. We made an addendum to being unpinnable.
Yeah,
which is
you don't need to be 6'3".
Yeah.
You just need to be able to defend yourself however you defend yourself.
Yep.
All right. I think we made our points there.
Okay.
It's not the time to be a weak man, and then when you're a weak man, you vote Democrat, and then you're lesbian or whatever.
No apples from Universal Studios start you down that weak man path, and then you're not fighting, you're getting steamrolled, and Biden's the president, right?
We're going to get to more in Cringe, too, and even Urban, and the whole theme is going to be white, straight Christian males need to chat up.
Okay.
All right, next, Chipotle's in trouble. People have been cooking Chipotle on social media.
Yeah.
They're saying, they don't give enough portions. There's all these plastics in the food, all this bad stuff. Can you read this lady's tweet?
People on social media have been dragging Chipotle so hard that allegedly a memo was sent out to Chipotle employees instructing them to fill up the bowls as much as possible if someone has their phone out or is filming while ordering. That's the America I know and love. So basically, people bullied Chipotle into heavy scoops again.
Yeah.
The scoops of like 2008. Remember those scoops?
When Chipotle first hit the scene?
Yeah.
Here's an example of someone doing it. Oh, no way. Heaping. Wow.
You get the point. They went crazy.
They went crazy. So if you want extra Chipotle, that's what you do. But keep in mind, Chipotle's got plastic in the food.
Yeah.
So you can't really get it. Yeah, they got seed oils and it's plastic and it's going to make you gay as well.
All right.
Unfortunately. All right. I'm going to cook a little bit on this last page of housekeeping. Is that cool with you?
We'll see.
We're doing great on time.
Okay.
You know what I've been thinking about?
What?
You know how they say, at a certain point when you jump from a height into water, it's the same as landing in concrete.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right to me.
Yeah, I agree with you, actually. I mean, I'm sure it hurts. It breaks your legs, but you still go in.
And it's like the same thing as in what? Like you're hitting something from up high. Would you rather land on concrete or water? Oh, it's the same thing.
I'm choosing water every time.
I'm choosing water.
Yeah.
That's stupid. It's not even true.
People jump off the San Francisco Bridge and then they survived, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You go in. Concrete doesn't let you go in. You bounce on concrete.
Yeah.
So I'm actually with you on that one.
Yeah.
You don't even have to cook.
It's similar to It's Darkest Before the Dawn.
Yeah, that's a lie.
It's like probably the least dark right before the dawn. It's probably darkest like when the sun's the furthest away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so you're cooking a little bit.
1 for 1.
Okay.
Also something I've noticed. We've been playing a lot of golf lately.
Okay.
A lot of infighting with the birds.
Oh, yeah.
If you look closely, they're constantly fighting each other.
They're chasing each other off. They have territory. They have disputes. Yeah,
I agree. Crows versus the Blue Jays and the crows versus the crows.
Yeah.
They go crazy on each other. Mm-hmm. So you're agreeing with me there too.
2 for 2. Darkest Before the Dawn is the only one where like that might actually be true. So 2 for 2, let's call it, and then we'll check that after.
Yeah, it doesn't sound right, but we'll check it out.
I agree. It doesn't sound right.
All right, next thing. Richard Rapboy and I joined the St. Pete Shuffleboard Club.
Yep.
It's the oldest and largest shuffleboard club in the world.
Yep.
Feels good. It's also in the same facility as the St. Pete Chess Club.
Yeah.
We were there on Friday night at like 10 o'clock at night. And this is just a funny story. This isn't like a thing I noticed. This is just a funny story. The kids were coming out of the chess club room. Like, they were kind of nerdy. Mm-hmm. And it was like 10 o'clock at night on a Friday. And then Rapboy, within earshot, goes, "Good to see who's putting in the late hours. College recruiters are watching." As if we're like college recruiters. College recruiters are watching.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, hey, dude, chess club 10:30 Friday night, Memorial Day weekend. That's a different level of commitment.
Yeah. Those are good kids.
Yeah.
Next time we go, we're buying pizza for the chess club.
Yep.
All right. Next, last thing. Last thing. Intern advice.
Okay.
There's a tweet that went out that I think you guys should know, especially if you're an intern this summer.
It says, interns, this summer you might be invited out for drinks with your team. This is a test and an opportunity. Only the drunkest, most fucked up intern will get a return offer. Welcome to the arena.
That's true, guys.
Yeah.
People, they want to work with someone who knows how to have fun.
Yeah. But there's a balance. You can't be actually too fucked up, but if you know how to have a good time and the people like you, that's good.
I was doing it more as a joke. You don't want to get too fucked up.
Well, I kind of like it. But intern, that's kind of a rite of passage, right?
Yeah, it is a rite of passage. And also, some of your higher-ups are probably into party drugs.
Yeah.
And the only way you know is by asking.
Especially in the finance game. Yeah, you have to say, you got a bump to your MD? Hey, Mr. Johnson.
At the 5 o'clock happy hour?
Yeah. 4:45. It's a summer Friday. 3:45.
I was an intern once, like a long time ago, at a finance job. And on the floor, there was like a golf club and a foam ball. And people would try to hit it in the trash can like all the time.
Yeah.
And one time I took a little chip shot and tried to hit it in the trash can and I shanked it and it was going right for the boss, which is like this lesbian woman. And it was going right for her and my boy swatted it down. So say you're the boss, like he swatted it like right here. And I was like, and I got the job.
That's a friend. That's a friend.
All right, our last piece of housekeeping, Altoids, the original Zin, the Thinking Man Zin.
Yeah,
you guys remember those.
Tangerine sours, those were good.
Remember Dad had those?
No, not my dad. I ate those.
And I would I used to eat a lot of those as a kid.
I'm sure.
All right, well, that is the end of housekeeping. We're moving on to Cringe of the Week. Our first clip is a hometown clip. Comes from here in St. Pete. Yeah. Someone desecrated the Pride mural by doing donuts on it.
Police are searching for the driver caught doing donuts, damaging the Progressive Pride street mural.
Just after 2:40 Wednesday morning, a vehicle is caught on a security camera doing donuts, damaging a Pride mural on Central Avenue in St. Petersburg. Tire marks still visible on the street.
I think we all need to be careful now. There's people obviously out there to get us that are part of the LGBTQ, including myself.
People are out here trying to get us.
Some drunk guy at 2 a.m. goes, I'm going to do a donut.
And then the gay guy says people are out to get us. Like it happened in the middle of the night and it's about to be Pride Month. You guys are about to have like a sex parade for a whole month in the middle of the town.
On TV, when you open the door, like everywhere is when you go to work and you have a corporate job. It's gay sex month coming up.
People are trying to get us.
Yeah. And you know what? My birthday's in June.
They're very disrespectful.
It's like they fucked me. They killed me.
Yeah.
You know? So
those gay guys fucked you.
But yeah, so obviously the most offended I am is at this act is the woman's pronunciation of donuts.
Insane.
Donuts on live TV and like don't reporters go to that school where they have to pronounce everything and they have like that weird no accent Walter Cronkite voice and you're gonna say donuts?
Isn't there a cameraman who goes like this?
Yeah, he looks right above it and he goes, donuts? Let's take that again.
And then there's a manhunt to find the guy.
Yeah.
And all they have is they say it's a blue car. Don't you have a blue car?
I do.
Don't you live in St. Pete?
I do.
Don't you think Pride is dumb and gay?
I very much so. So, but it's actually a blue truck, kind of SUV type. They might need to come talk to me. You know what's funny? Actually, speaking of that, insinuating ourselves into crimes. Remember when we showed you guys that doppelganger thing, where people were kicking over rocks in like Red Rocks Canyon or somewhere in Vegas or something?
Someone actually reported me.
Yeah, someone reported Fleckers, and then the Instagram comments on that. I was like, oh, I watched these guys' podcast, and like we were just doing bits. And people were like, I found his real name. It's Austin Fletcher. Apparently this guy went to Dartmouth. Like, really? So people really thought we did that.
Yeah, we did, maybe.
Yeah, and maybe we did this.
In spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's
Hold on. Before we move on, I like that there are some people who are still just out there doing this.
Yeah.
They know, like, if someone gets caught, like, you'll be charged with a hate crime or do something like this. And they're like, fuck it. I'm doing donuts.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care. You know?
That's a good point.
So
I actually saw the donut marks firsthand. I had a sauna session the other day.
Oh, yeah. A sauna session right by the gay sidewalk. Yeah. Somebody try to rip you off in there?
Yeah.
Touch you
there
a little
was
bit?
a man there who would have maybe sucked me.
All right.
All right. Let's not get too carried away.
Mm-hmm.
Next is the
like you in the sauna.
Trans hairy retard.
We're getting loose today. We're going crazy.
Well, I just got home from work, and today, for the first time, I dressed fully feminine in public, in the broad light of day. It was to a luncheon at my work with the board of directors of the theater company I work for. I wore my lemon dress and my keffiyeh. And you know, it in the grand scheme of things might seem like a small victory, but you gotta let yourself celebrate your small victories.
Guys, we need to also be drinking filtered distilled water. We need to add our own minerals to it. We can't be eating microplastics. We can't be eating meat with hormones in it. We can't be eating pesticides. We need to be getting the heavy metals out and the parasites out before they start phase 3.
You've seen what it does. This is clearly a guy who got to phase 3 early. And,
This will be you.
This will be you. And you know what? It's so funny because he's talking about wearing a dress while he's got this hairy, stringy body hair. He's talking about wearing a dress in front of the board of directors of the place he works, and he's calling it a victory. So you really need to be eating clean. No apples from Universal Studios. No fluoride in the water.
This is a chemical reaction.
Yeah, I don't know what else. I don't know how else to describe it, man.
But also,
you know what? I bet he would probably admit it. Like, yeah, I don't know. When I was a kid, I was fine. Now I'm fucked up.
Yeah.
What happened to me? He might have he might have questions, right?
And then it's like, oh, what do you do for your drinking water? Oh, I just drink out of the sink.
I drink right out of the hose.
It's like, I found something.
Yeah.
And it's funny, too, because like from what he says, he had like a business lunch with the board of directors.
And at least it was a theater, all right? He said I worked for a theater company. So
I was going to say.
It wasn't a bank. It wasn't, a real business. It wasn't a janitorial supply company. It's a theater.
Okay, that's better. What I was going to say, like...
So they're all gay, right?
We had a meeting with the board of directors. Oh, how did it go? Was it successful? It's like, oh, it was really successful. We're up on our revenue this quarter. It was really successful. I wore a dress.
Yeah.
What?
It's about you?
What about your job in the company? How's the company doing?
Crazy.
All right, let's go.
A victory for this guy would be like, I lost 30 pounds. I found a girlfriend. I got promoted at a job. And then his idea of a victory is I wore a dress to the board of directors thing.
And then they can't fire me because they're probably scared of me.
Yeah.
My victory was I benched 25 12 times.
Yeah, it's a new PR.
There you go. All right, let's go to the next thing. Speaking of trans people, kind of, the lesbian who was banned from dating apps for...
This is just a story from someone on Twitter. She said, I was banned from a lesbian-only dating app because I would not be compatible with trans women and women not proud to be women, like in her bio. This was after being liked by over 25 trans-identifying males, most who had pre-op, pre-HRT in their profiles. Not that this matters, as they are still men even after OP and HRT. When my sexual orientation calls for members of my same sex, being contacted mainly by the opposite sex is a nuisance. This is why lesbian-only spaces are created. It's to naturally remove the sex we are not sexually aroused by from our dating pool to make the dating experience more enjoyable for us. If you were a straight man and 95% of the people who approached you were homosexual men, you'd understand that how that can get really annoying no matter how nice these homosexual men were. You'd probably want to create a space where you'd want to meet women who are only interested in men to make your experience more pleasurable. So she got booted off the lesbian app because she wasn't sucking enough guys pre-op, just a guy.
Yeah, and I saw an interesting.
That's this guy in the dress.
Exactly.
It's the same guy.
The whole show goes like this.
Yeah.
It's like we're weaving a large fabric here. And I saw like a meme. Maybe it was like a meme or like maybe something on Twitter, and it was basically saying you need to refer to a trans person as the gender they want to be seen, but when they call you a cis male, you can't say, "Hey, I don't like that. I'm just a normal person," and then they would say to you, "Oh, it doesn't matter. That's who you are. That's who you are. That's reality, whether you like it or not."
Yeah, I've categorized you.
So on one hand, you have to call them whatever they want, but on the other hand, when they call you something that doesn't make sense, they go, "Well, sorry, that's just how it is. That's how everyone sees you."
Yeah, and that's why I don't play the game.
Yeah,
at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Not going to call you Caitlin.
And when you see stuff like this, it makes you realize that the trans people are kind of in charge, and they're like they have more control over the rules than normal people do.
Yeah,
and as long as straight people are being squeezed, I think like the bad guys are fine with it.
Yeah,
because it leads to less family units and destabilizes society. I actually saw a lot of people replying to this woman's tweet saying how trans people on the dating app actually are very specific with what they're looking for. Can you show the underlined part?
Yeah, this is a lesbian trans woman's dating profile that says, "I won't date other trans or guys or women pretending to be men. Natural born women only, please."
And that's Amanda.
Yeah, that's Amanda. That's a man, duh. I'll give you bucks, son. That's a man, duh. That's the worst trans name you could pick.
Yeah.
A man. Your trans name starts with a man.
That's simulation wing.
I know.
So it makes you wonder, do trans people ruin everything?
What's
something trans people add value to?
That's a good question.
Like
the pharmaceutical industry. They add value to that, but that's more lining fat cats' pockets. That's not really,
That's more financial, literal value.
Yeah, that's not like you made it a good time.
I'm going to list some things, and then you tell me if trans people make it better or worse.
Okay.
Sports.
Worse.
Bathrooms.
Way worse.
Dating apps.
Horribly worse.
The school library.
A little bit worse. Quietly reading? I'm not going to just bully them.
No, I meant like reading to kids.
Oh,
like a middle school library.
I pictured the trans person just sitting there like, does everyone think I'm a girl? Reading like the Da Vinci Code to themselves.
All right, well, let's wrap it up with a good concluding point. This was a post made about a person who came out as trans at 10 years old and how their life went after.
Yeah, this is from the D-Trans subreddit, and it says, "I'm so bitter. The trans community says that if you detransition and regret what you did to yourself, you have no one to blame but you. But I was 10. I was 10 years old, obese, and already looked more like a boy than a girl. I despised myself. The internet told me this was the way out. Gave me tips on hiding from my parents who wanted nothing but for me to not make a huge mistake. I'm 17 now. My breasts are completely stunted. I have severe eating disorder, and I've never had a boyfriend. I ruined myself at 10 years old, and the community that once encouraged me now turns their back and ridicules me. I'm so bitter."
Yep, that's what you can't forget.
And that's why mom and dad need to be driving and not letting a 10-year-old drive, right?
Well, he likes cars.
Yeah, I got Amanda. Get out of here. So,
all right, let's move on to our next section. This is our anti-Semitic section.
Okay.
And it's Sneeko is the clip holder. We're gonna let it play.
Are white people dominant?
I mean, white people have most of the power, money, leadership positions, capital.
Where?
Chief executives of most corporations, most college presidents, most political leaders in the U.S.
All right, the biggest lobby in America is AIPAC, Israel-funded lobbying.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, 98% of the politicians that they fund win their elections, and even like Biden's cabinet is all Jewish. If you look at Trump example, he married into the Kushner family, or his daughter married into the Kushner family. It's like maybe on the TV it makes it seem like white people are predominantly controlling everything, but if you actually look at the names behind the scenes, a lot of it are the undercover Jews.
So that even I would say that expression,
anti-Semitic?
Undercover Jews. Yeah, I mean it's
well, like Jonah Hill, for example, his real name is Jonah Hill Feldstein because he doesn't want people to know his ethnicity.
So it seems to me like you have an agenda with this. I should.
No, I don't.
That's good. So all of a sudden, it's what's your agenda?
Yeah.
This was an open mic platform. It's called the 1 Minute Podcast. Sneeko does it. She comes on it and immediately starts yapping about how white people are overrepresented.
Yeah.
And you assume she's white. So she's a Jewish person who appears to be white, who's coming out and saying, oh, there's too much white representation in society and the CEOs and the heads of companies, stuff like that. But in reality, this country was founded by white Christians and is majority white.
Yeah.
So it kind of would make sense. And it's not even necessarily true either, because the actual numbers for representation are not out of whack for white people, but they are for Jewish people.
Yeah.
So we're going to go through a couple things here. But the key takeaway from that whole interaction was actually like a perfect clip. This woman who appears to be white's coming and saying that white people are the problem and they're overrepresented in all aspects of society, and that's why society's messed up. But it's actually Jewish people who are overrepresented in a lot of things. We have some graphics here. First is the Ivy League presidents.
Yeah.
7 out of 8 Ivy League presidents are Jewish. Here we have Joe Biden's cabinet. It's like every single person at the top is Jewish. Trump's cabinet as well. We have the media. And Jewish people are less than 3% of the population in America.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because whenever you point that out, Jewish people will say, well, we're very smart and we have great values and we're family oriented and it's a free market. So if we trend towards the top, it's just free market playing out how it plays out. But then at the same time, Jewish people are also big proponents of DEI. So it's like, on one hand, it's a free market. However it plays out, it plays out. And then on the other hand, it's, well, we need more people of color in positions of power. We need less white males. And you can't really have both. And I actually saw a tweet that summed up this whole concept from a Jewish person. Can you give both things a read?
Yeah. This guy says, who I assume is Jewish, right? He says, why can't Republicans just accept that the whiteness they so very cherish will be bred out of the human race? And then another Jewish guy replied and said, I can tell you as a Jew myself, it's anti-white shit like this from Jews that creates hatred towards us from white people once they notice the pattern, which most of them have not. You need to stop. You are going to get us hurt.
Yes, exactly. And then this whole idea...
I think that's very true. Like that sort of like self-policing where it's like, you can't just say that. You can't just throw that accusation out there. And then you're going to get us hurt. You're like, this is what makes people dislike us. And I totally agree. Like I'm a white guy and I'm reading a sentence, whiteness is going to be bred out of the human race. We're only like 8% of the global population. And I'm reading someone say this to me. Like,
who's not white?
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. So I like this guy who says, as a Jew myself, that's kind of the stuff you need to be policing.
Mm-hmm. And then there's another graphic here that talks about what you just talked about. Can you give it a read?
Whites are less than 10% of the world population, yet in most white countries, the special status of minority is given to non-white residents. A Chinaman in Wales is a minority, yet there are 1.3 billion Chinese and 3 million Welsh. This is one of the great deceptions and frauds of our time.
Very true. And then I saw this other tweet about Israel and Nazis. Can you give that a read?
It says, Israel is for the Jews. You are a Nazi if you think otherwise. Germany for the Germans. This is a Nazi position that should result in jail time.
Yeah. So that's kind of what we're dealing with here.
A lot of double standards going on in specifically white Western countries, right?
Yes, exactly.
And demonization in our own countries.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty dark.
Pretty dark. And it's interesting because the people who need to realize it are the people who are being attacked.
Yeah.
Like white, straight Christian males are the ones who are getting the negative side of it and are the ones that need to notice, but those are the people that are actually being attacked.
Yeah.
So it's something that, the theme of the episode is people need to wake up.
Okay.
And then we have one last tweet here. It's a little bit of a read, but it is worth it. These are very important points. Can you give it a read, Richard?
Yeah, it's from the Fisher King, and he says, men, particularly white men, are being weeded out at every level. The demographic that built the modern world is being hobbled. Consider that universities, when they were small outfits reserved for the elite, could find the West Virginia math genius John Nash, cultivate him at Carnegie Mellon and Princeton, then send him to MIT to do research resulting in a Nobel Prize. Now an eccentric boy like him is probably drugged by some angry woman in elementary school. If he makes it through that experience, he's trashed for his whiteness for years, and then rejected probably at all top schools. Then his credentials don't get him the interviews he would need at top corporations, banks, law firms, consulting firms, etc. And if he does manage the interview, he might not get hired anyway because of diversity quotas. And if he even gets through that, he will be subjected to diversity training and possibly hobbled in promotion. The only white guys who get through all this are connected and wealthy. The John Nash type, very unlikely he's even recognized. This is what American society is doing to itself in real time.
Yeah. Well, it's very important to know that, and I'm glad we covered it on the show.
Yeah.
That's why it's in Cringe. Our last clip of Cringe this week, this is just a funny clip. This guy was in court for having a suspended license, and look how it played out.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Tate for Mr. Harris, who should be present via Zoom.
Mr. Harris, are you driving?
Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office, actually. So just give me 1 second. I'm parking right now.
Your Honor, we are respectfully requesting an adjournment in this matter, up possibly 2 to 4 weeks if the court would allow.
Okay. So maybe I don't understand something. This is a driving while license suspended?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And he was just driving. And he didn't have a license.
As with the charges, Your Honor, yes.
No, I'm looking at his record. He doesn't have a license. He's suspended and he's just driving.
That is correct, Your Honor.
I don't even know why he would do that. So defendant's bond is revoked in this matter. Defendant is to turn himself into the Washington County Jail by 6 p.m. today. Failure to turn himself in will result in a bench warrant with no bond.
Bro, and this is going super viral too, but like we had to show that, man. That's a next level retarded person.
Yeah.
That's someone who just needs to be in jail. If you can't even not drive during your suspended license can't pull over. What were we saying? Switch to the pull over and pretend. Switch to the passenger seat. Oh, I'm not driving. I'm on the left side.
Mm-hmm.
Show the no steering wheel in front of you. But I mean, some people just deserve to be in jail, and that's where obviously the guy's going to get out eventually, right?
Mm-hmm.
But man, to do it to yourself like that.
You're in trouble for having a suspended or driving without a suspended license. And then it's like, what am I doing right now?
Yeah.
Am I good to go? The one thing you can't do. Yeah. Well, don't get too down or too depressed. It's going to get a little worse. We're moving on to Urban Decay. We are actually going to borderline speed round through this stuff because we have a lot of clips. The theme of this section is bad parents acting out in front of their children.
Yeah.
And obviously that leads to some troubled youths.
Oh, youths are not all right.
So our first clip is the abortion demon mom. This lady is talking to a street preacher type who's saying abortion is murder, and look how she handles it.
A miscarriage is a medical abortion.
No, it's not. Okay, let me educate you, okay?
Yes,
hold on.
Yes.
Hold on. Get back. Hey, get back. Hey.
Hey, that's not okay. Don't put your hand.
Hey, get back. Stop. Don't put your hands on her. Please, I don't want to scare your daughter. Please get away.
You went out for some nice ice cream with your mom. Let's get a milkshake.
The mom has a milkshake. The daughter has an ice cream cone, and she's attacking someone in the street and then pinned on a filthy gutter in like a minute. That's how quickly life can change if you're a stupid mom, right?
And then obviously what she got upset about was someone defending the most innocent.
The unborn. No, and it's like, psh, you can go, psh, roll your eyes, disagree with someone, and walk on. I'm not going to let that ruin my lovely day with my precious daughter who's like 9.
And was not aborted.
And, we also talk about low IQ criminals, right? And obviously this woman is probably, she's a white lady in Portland. She's probably some hipster doofus, probably not super dumb, but, well,
it takes SSRIs.
Debatable. But the point I'm going to make is not about book smart or how well you do on an IQ test, but this is like an emotional quotient, EQ. Yeah. And she just snapped. She couldn't do it. You went from ice cream with your daughter on the street on a lovely day to I'm in the gutter, muddy, beat up.
And that guy cares more about the daughter than the mom does because he's like, I don't want to scare your daughter. Please get away.
Yeah, he kind of handled it like a gentleman.
And then also the daughter sees that the mom is so pro-abortion that it's like,
what kind of message is that sending?
Did you not want me? Do you even like me?
But yeah, I mean, isn't that crazy how someone can ruin your day so fast from literal ice cream with your children to
getting wrestled down by a man.
Filthy in the gutter, wrestled by a man.
Never seen anything like
I've
that.
never been wrestled down on the street by a stranger who I just passed. You know, it's kind of, and I don't expect to either.
I've never seen my mom get physical with anybody.
Could you imagine?
Yeah. All right, let's move on to our next one. You mentioned EQ versus IQ. The next one is an IQ individual.
Yeah, maybe a mix of both.
Yeah, so this one, the mom was caught shoplifting, and this is her and her daughter's reaction to it in New York.
Okay. No! Mother! Oh! No! The 4! 8! B! Oh, mother! Elephant! Bro!
Sunglasses, a gray top, and she had a dogger bag. The CV gave a description of a female black with long braids with the white.
I think he went back to the store.
What classes did I steal from Montclair?
Mommy, I know who it was.
What classes did I steal? Thank you.
Stop recording it now! You should not be recording it without our permission.
For my safety. Thank you.
My aunt stole glasses. It wasn't her. Do she have a fucking white t-shirt on? No.
Yeah, so the mom was accused of stealing glasses which appear to be in her shirt. Right there in her shirt.
Yeah, she thinks that'll save her if it's a male cop or something. Can't really dig around in a tatas.
I see this and I just say take them both to jail.
Take the mom to jail, fingerprint photograph processed, and then take the daughter to Beyond Scared Straight. We can't lock her up yet. She'll be in the school to prison pipeline for a few more years. Make a teacher's life a little bit miserable, but, you know, try to scare her straight.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm sure this kid's great in school knowing that this is how she's taught to resolve conflicts and shit.
This is how she speaks to authority figures, aka police, just grunt yelling. And then also there's the motherly impulse. We saw the abortion demon kind of overrode that motherly impulse in the previous clip. And then here the emotion or desire to steal, the impulse to steal, overrode the motherly instinct. So now you and the kid have to stop and talk to the police for a little while because I just really wanted to steal.
Yeah.
So two different demons running these two different women.
That's a good point. And then obviously the child is learning. You know, certain animals see, certain animal do.
Yeah.
And that's what we have here.
I mean, that's with everything. That's every kid is like, you see a little kid who puts his hand on his hip like his dad. It's like, and it's cute sometimes. Here, teeters on not cute. And
she's like going like this.
Yeah.
Like, bruh.
So bad. So, that's my family's going to be a long line of shoplifters, I would think, if she's learning from the mom.
And this is happening in New York City. Obviously, more disrespect. New York City has like lower police officers than ever, and everyone's quitting.
Or retiring early.
And there's another clip of people disrespecting New York City police officers in Coney Island. Let that one rip.
What do you think? Don't touch me. What do you think you are? I'm my father, nigga. That's why I said you asked me press that point. Well, I'm gonna fucking call you being disrespectful. You asked me dumbass fucking being disrespectful. Suck my dick, nigga. Fuck that. You shouldn't have came up here and said nothing to me. Good. What kind you I don't give a fuck about none of that. It's my business, not yours, nigga. Suck my dick. You mad at my dick. You mad at my dick. Don't touch me again. I'm telling you I'm a hook with you, bro. All the cameras is out. All cameras is out.
That's good. He says, I don't give a shit about any of that. And I believe him.
I know. Actions speak louder than words sometimes, as we know in the intro. And threatening and telling a cop to suck my dick with a toddler or 4-year-old on your hip tells me everything I need to know.
That's
right?
what the cops have to deal with.
Yeah.
On top of that, there's a next clip from New York. Someone sprayed cops with a fire extinguisher.
This is the ongoing series of we're afraid of cops and cops are killing us, right?
Yo.
Wow. Imagine riding around in that car.
Yeah, on your way to get tacos with El Diablo.
Yeah. Let's go to the next clip of the woman trashing the store with her kid.
You got anger issues.
Fuck you.
We need help. I'm calling the cops.
Calling them, I don't give a fuck, yo. What is you talking about?
Bad throw.
I don't give a fuck about none of this shit. What was you talking about?
That's assault.
Like, you know what, already.
And the babies are like a sponge.
Yeah.
They just learn whatever you show them.
That's when they're at the most absorption of the brain. You know, they really are just learning, seeing things, everything for the first time. And, you know, you start going, oh, I can trash the store? Yeah. Whereas for me, it would never even cross my mind. But the baby is learning young.
Exactly. And obviously all these kids grow up to be young adults who misbehave as well. This next clip, these kids steal a car, and look how this guy kind of tracks him down.
The Kill Boys is out. The motherfucker, who car is this? Who car these little niggas in? Hey, who car y'all stole? Hey man, take them people that car back. Take them people that car back. Nigga, you young as hell, boy. Nigga, y'all like 12. What the fuck? Oh, it's another one.
The urban youths.
Yeah.
That's what they're up to. That's the kind of stuff they do. And obviously it comes from the way they were raised. And there's an article that came out that was kind of about guns. And it said, opinion, why do Americans want guns? It comes down to one word. And that word starts with N.
Did you read this, or did you actually see what the word was that you posited?
I didn't read it. I just knew I could.
Just using it as a bit. Okay,
I'm just using it as a bit.
A prop.
All right, let's go to our next part of this. The kids now, you know, we talked about the dine and dashing.
Yeah.
And there's all these different techniques to do to get a free meal. Now there's a new one where people are doing fake brawls in the restaurant.
Yeah.
And then everyone kind of runs out on the bill because they pretend they're scared. Here's a clip of it.
I ain't moving out nowhere.
I told y'all. Y'all ain't listening. What that got to do with us? Shut the hell up,
Yeah.
Looks a little staged. Looks like
better get out of here.
Yeah. And here's the tweet. This says, according to restaurant industry insiders, an old high school phenomena of dine and dash has resurfaced, but with a twist. An ever-increasing number of patrons pre-arrange brawls, so the establishment has no choice but to eat the costs of the meals or risk being sued over fake charges. Things are so bad, many of the smaller stores were forced to close and move their lives and businesses elsewhere.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
It's advanced level fuckery, right?
Yep. And then while this stuff like this is happening, you'd hope that the police would crack down or investigate or lock people up, when it's actually, like we've seen for the last how many years, the opposite.
Yeah.
Out of Boston, the mayor recently just said this.
Boston Mayor Michelle Wu said she would support a policy that refuses to prosecute the following crimes: shoplifting, larceny, disorderly conduct, receiving stolen property, driving with a suspended license, blah, 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 blah. But
breaking and entering property damage.
Shoplifting.
Great. So that's good to know.
Yeah. And we were kind of having a conversation about this. You guys know San Francisco obviously went downhill. Oakland went way downhill. Some of these shoplifting and like crime allowances things. Me and Fleckus were talking before the show started that like you can basically, if Michelle Wu, the mayor of Boston, if this gets like signed into law or policy, I don't know how they do it in Boston, you can basically like start kind of thinking about moving, you know, because the wick or the firecracker of Urban Decay, the fuse has been lit. And it might take 5 years, it might take 10, but you can kind of be like, oh, you know, that suburb looks pretty nice right now.
Yeah.
You know, and my property value is still the same. And this is for people, you know, who can afford it, who it works with their job. And I'm not saying like up and move from a city once it starts, but like this is a pretty pure sign of what's to come and sign of decay, right?
Definitely.
So.
And then there's people who misunderstand it. The progressives don't understand it. They pretend that it's capitalism when it's really crime and looting and bad policy. There's a 1-2 here coming up. There's a tweet about from a person who thinks it's a capitalism issue. And then the rebuttal is actually a really smart point that wraps up this whole section. Can you give both a read?
Yeah, this was just someone who got clowned on Twitter because they posted the standard all the shit's locked up, toothpaste is locked up from like a Walgreens or a Target, whatever. And it says, being forced to ask an employee to unlock a toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, and shampoo is actually insane. Fuck capitalism. Well, that's weird because capitalism, I remember 1990, capitalism was humming. We just walk in. It was easy money, right?
You buy whatever you need.
And then Wayne Burkett quote tweeted this and said, if the people who created the culture and legal environment that leads to this can still find a way to blame capitalism, then you should understand that they're never going to admit failure. They will never reflect. They won't ever consider that this is their fault. And I think you should approach them accordingly. They aren't rational, honest actors who are responsive to new information.
That's what it is.
And that's like the example of Michelle Wu. Like, you're going to get a city that is constantly stolen from, and all your finest retail establishments are going to evaporate, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes, exactly. And that makes perfect sense because that's what we see where people think sometimes like, oh, we'll do the progressive idea and then we'll show you that you're the one who ruined everything.
Yeah.
And they don't see it that way. They don't see society as being ruined by them and their policies of not locking people up and letting repeat offenders out and not putting anyone in jail. They see it as this is a capitalism issue. So even when you have them dead to rights and you have them completely proven wrong, it doesn't matter because
they'll move the goalpost
and blame you.
And they'll blame the stuff that Karl Marx wants to blame.
Yeah.
You ever notice that? It's always, oh, das Kapital. You know, that's why all the criminals are out stealing. It's like, oh, Karl Marx wrote about this. And, you know, they're dense, basically.
They really are. Well, don't get too down or too depressed. Moving on to uplifting gold, and we do have some uplifting things today. First things first, they're shooting water guns at the school bus.
This bus threw water on us before we waited till last day of school.
That's uplifting.
Not as heartwarming as I thought.
Yeah, those kids are pretty good with those guns.
They hold them sideways, too. I can see a future.
Yeah, those guys, they're not going to the military.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next water fight thing. This clip is funny because it sounds like they shot this kid with a water gun. And then they went and shot him again with a water gun and tricked him. And now they're going up to him the third time. And they're saying, hey, we just want to apologize. And the kid goes, oh, it's okay. I was just kind of mad when you came back the second time.
And so I'll explain this a little bit further because you might not know this. This is a game a lot of high school kids play where there's an app and you join the game and then they're secret assassins. So the goal is to not get shot by the person who's supposed to kill you with a water gun, right?
And they're apologizing to this kid for getting him. And his main thing is, hey, it's okay, but you apologized and then shot me last time, and look what happens.
Hi, how you doing? Good, how are you? Yeah, I just wanted to apologize for getting you out with the water.
No, you don't have to apologize. It's just what I didn't like was the whole coming back thing and then spraying me.
So the only thing I didn't like was coming back and spraying me again, and then they get him again.
Yeah, again, not quite uplifting.
That's a good bit.
Yeah, all right.
All right, let's go to the kindergarten aspirations. This kid graduated kindergarten, and here's his hopes for the future.
Cadence wants to be a gas station worker.
He wants to be a gas station worker.
That's more attainable than you think, buddy.
Yeah.
You don't even have to go to class.
Yeah, you probably won't go to class.
Just learn how to count some money, and that's it.
But that's a good point. I bet no one can give change anymore.
Oh, yeah. Gen Z people?
Cooked.
You don't have Apple Pay?
Yeah.
They give you like 80 cents back when, it was $1.80. They just like, here 80. And they go, oh, yeah.
80. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a Chinese man when I grew up.
Yeah, all right.
Everyone knows that story already. All right. Let's go to the donkey.
I feel like you knew you were doing a bit when you said that.
I was 5.
So that's why
I was a baby and I was misunderstanding that Chinese man. I thought Chinese man meant delivery guy because the Chinese food and the pizza delivery was Chinese. So I thought that meant delivery man, and I just kind of like under the umbrella of Chinese.
All right.
So that's what I meant by it.
Thank you.
And I said it to a lady in an elevator one time, and she said he's very honest. All right, let's go to the guy who's showing the wanted posters of the donkey from Shrek.
This is my favorite clip. This made me legitimately go crazy.
This is serious business right here.
Damn. They around here?
Yeah.
In this city?
They be walking around over there too.
You be showing to a lot of people?
Yeah, and then a lot of people been going inside because these people been on the loose right now. So you gotta watch out for these two, because at nighttime they'll take you.
They'll kill you?
Yeah, this one, especially this one. See how dark he is?
He's like a donkey in the face, don't he? The police know about him?
Yeah. It's all been on the news and stuff.
Tony, come here. Real fast.
The police know about him.
He'll kill you. He'll take you. You look like a donkey in the face. It's like your instincts are right, but you're just, I don't know, you're a little off.
All right, last clip. There was baseball-sized hail in Texas this week. What happens if that hits you? What happens if that hits you in the head?
Hurts. And it also
fuck you up?
It breaks your car. It breaks your windshield. It breaks all your shit.
If you had a car you want to get rid of?
Ooh.
Insurance.
Hail in Texas?
Oops.
I don't think it doesn't destroy your car. It just breaks all your windows, and then your insurance doesn't even cover that, or your deductible's too much.
Then your car that you wanted to get rid of is now even worse.
Yeah.
All right, that's the end of the show, but it is Friday, and we do have shout-outs. Guys, the shout-outs are getting crazy.
Yeah.
There's going to be a rule soon that you have to be a bonus lander to get a shout-out, and a lot of these people are bonus landers. We're going to go quickly through it. All right, are you ready? Happy birthday to Bradley Bailey on May 28th.
Happy birthday,
Bradley. His son dressed up as us for Halloween.
Nice.
So we showed him earlier in the year.
Nice alliteration with your name as well, Bradley Bailey.
Yes, very nice. Happy birthday to Nick, who's turning 34 on May 28th. He's a UK boy.
Happy
Him
birthday,
and his
Nick.
buddy Tom watch, and Tom is a bonus lander.
Oh.
So Nick, it's time for you to join, buddy.
Good day, mates.
Happy birthday to Chandler on May 28th. Also, his and his wife's 3-year anniversary.
Okay.
So that's
Happy birthday, Chandler. 2 for 1.
And happy anniversary. And he does a great job of telling everyone to watch the show.
There you go.
He's been plugging us in person.
Whoa.
Happy birthday to James Stanley on May 31st. Happy birthday, James Stanley.
Happy birthday, James. Two first names.
James Stanley.
Two first names, James Stanley. Thank you.
That's an interesting point, Richard. Thank you. Happy birthday to Tony, who's turning 32 on May 30th. He and his fiance Allie are huge show watchers. They watched the show while their dog was getting eye surgery.
Wow.
So we got them through some hard times, they said.
There you go. Loud, like on loud in the lobby. You're watching us.
Happy birthday to Walker Moot on May 28th. Him and his girlfriend Star are huge show watchers.
Walker Mook and Star?
Yeah.
That's like a baseball player.
Walker Mook.
Walker Mook up to the plate. Grand slam for Walker Mook.
They love the show, him and his girlfriend Star, and they quote the show a lot too.
There you go.
Happy birthday to Mel's husband, whose birthday is May 25th. Very nice.
No name?
You guys need to leave the name in the request.
Yeah, you only get one shot at this.
Because if you say, can you shout out my husband whose birthday is May 25th, I'll do it, but you got to tell me the guy's name.
Yeah.
But happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Mel's husband, yeah.
Mel's husband. Happy birthday to Hayden, who turns 10 on May 30th.
Whoa.
He plays a wrestling video game with Braun Strowman, who's like a wrestler, and he plays because he looks like me.
Wow.
It's pretty cool. So happy birthday, Hayden. Have one of your parents DM me, and we'll send you a t-shirt.
Wow.
Congrats to Alyssa and Alex, who gave birth to their new daughter and future show watcher, Emberlyn, on May 23rd.
Congratulations.
Happy birthday to Allison on May 28th. She turns 38. She watches while doing the dishes.
Happy birthday, Allison.
Happy birthday, Allison. Get those dishes clean.
That's Pavlov stuff, though. You wash and do the dishes too much. Maybe you associate us with the dishes, and you start to lose interest.
Then you don't like doing dishes, then you don't like the show.
I don't know.
That's a
Watch
good point.
that. Watch that one.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to Greg, who turns 44 on May 30th. Happy birthday, Greg.
Happy birthday, Greg.
We love you. Happy birthday to Emily Siegel on May 26th.
Happy birthday, Emily.
At Persons from St. Pete.
Wow.
Very cool. Happy birthday to Carol with a K, who turned 70 this week.
Carol.
Happy birthday, Carol. Happy birthday to Thomas, who turns 32 today, May 31st. Very cool. Happy birthday, Thomas. Happy birthday to Tori, who turned 29 this week. Her and her husband are big show watchers with their daughter, who's 1.5 years old.
Wow.
Very cool. And Tori is a great mom. She works really hard.
Thank you, Tori. That's awesome.
I'm a show watcher. It makes sense.
Sounds good. Did her husband request that and say she was a great mom who works really hard? All right. A little biased, but I'll take him at his word.
Show watchers are high-level people.
Yeah.
And happy birthday to Dylan Matsky on May 27th. Congrats on being pregnant with baby Madeline.
Are we announcing the pregnancy to him right now or something? Could you imagine that? I'd like to do that instead of random birthday shout-outs. If you guys want to announce a pregnancy or something.
Or a breakup.
To your husband, or you want us to
or
break
an
up.
engagement.
Oh, that's a little crazy, but a pregnancy is a good one because, like, you're going to tell him anyway, right? It's not like you're going to get down on one knee and tell him. So if you want us to announce that you're pregnant to your husband, that's a good one.
That's a job for me.
Yeah.
Well, that's the end of the show. Thank you guys for watching. Happy Friday. Enjoy your weekend. If you love the show and you like us and you want to support us, sign up for Bonus Land. It's a 30-minute Bonus Land dropping right now. And if you want to get that Tuesday episode that you missed, there's a Bonus Land there as well. It's a huge backlog of tons and tons of episodes. It's only a few bucks a month. It goes a long way, keeps the lights on.
And we had to actually push some stuff from Urban Decay this episode, which is what we do a lot. So, like, it kind of is an extended episode a lot of times. Stuff that we don't have time to put in, so.
It really is. It's good stuff. So come see us there. Come hang out in the comments, and we will see you on Tuesday.
Police are searching for the driver caught doing donuts, damaging the Progressive Pride street mural.